There is so much happening in the crypto market right now. We are having ETFs go live with HBAR and Litecoin. You start to wonder, when is it going to be time for XRP? We're going to get into a ton of news around that. I have a ton of updates as well. A lot of things happening with institutions adopting crypto. I'm here to answer your questions, have a little fun here. I hope everybody is doing well. Great to see Just Maui here first. Great to see you, brother. Cosmos Kramer, great to see you, man. John, what's up, dude? Let's see here. We have It's Frosty is here. Kenneth Brill is here. Noe from Nampa. Nampa is here. Noe, great to see you. XRP is going to rule the world. I don't disagree. AK Scarface checking in. DP, what's up, Sveta? My favorite. How are you, Sveta? Rochelle is here. Great to see you, Rochelle. I see the new PFP. One Atlantis is here. Great to see you, One Atlantis. Let me see you. Kevin here. Kevin Sloan. Great to see you, Kevin. John Ty, what's up, dude? Tom is here. Good to see you, Tom. Sebastian. Great to see you, Sebastian. We got Scott checking in from the Big Island. What's up, Scott? How you doing, brother? Ariana's here to keep the chat safe. Always great to see you, Ariana. Apache says, checking in from 36,000 feet, headed to Hawaii. Well, if you're headed to Hawaii, depending on the island you're headed to, why don't you go ahead and send me an email? Maybe we can meet up for a coffee or something. I'd really appreciate that and like that. Noel from number 23 is here. Great to see you. Amsterdam checking in here with Brandon Fuchs. Ademi, excuse me. Hello, Ademi. Great to see you. King Sal is here. All right, guys, listen, if you appreciate the channel, you like what we do here, you can share the space, you can like the space, you can just participate in the space, whatever you want to do. I greatly, greatly appreciate you. Let's check in and see what's going on with some of this news and info around the crypto space. I did want to pull up CoinMarketCap really quickly just to see where we are at today. I know things have been a little up and down, but right now we're looking in the green here. Bitcoin is up 3%. At 113, Ethereum's up about 2.27% at $4,000. XRP is at 261, up 7%, just about 6.59. BNB up 2.86%. Solana at 2.9%. Hype up 33%. Man, that is incredible. Chainlink is really kind of stagnant here. Bitcoin Cash is up. You have Hedera is up 13.45% on the news of the ETF launch. You have Avalanche here kind of just trading sideways a little bit down. Litecoin is up a little bit of juice here at 2.72%. Monero is up 10%. Zcash is up 20%. And then BitTau is up 10%. So definitely some stuff up and some stuff down here in the crypto space. We do have a $10 donation here. Can you stop using Jake Claver for thumbnails and clicks and views? Start using pictures of yourself like what Oscar Ramos does. At the end of the day, we'll still support you. You know, my editor has a lot of, say on thumbnails and titles. We try to go with what's trendy in the market. People, Jake is a very interesting person. I will pass that information along to the team and we'll do what we can. But I understand what you're saying. Thank you for the donation and the suggestion. We got Sebastian Gary here. What's the plan for today, Sensei? Man, the plan is to give you as much news and information so you can make educated decisions out here as possible. So that's what we are going to do. Man, I'm not going to really get into that whole thing. I think, yeah, man, that's a hard topic to talk about. Virtuals protocol. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Did you guys see some of these projects we talked about like 3 months ago? Let me show you some of this stuff actually really quickly here. What was this? This was back in August. In August, I had brought up several virtuals projects that I was looking at that I shared inside of my personal community, Cryptonaires. One of those projects was Wire. One of those projects was Aura, and one of those projects was AIN. I just want to show you some stuff here, right? So this is Wire when I shared it in Cryptonaires. We also talked about it here on live stream. This is now sitting at almost $18 million market cap. This is up several 100% since I originally brought it up to you. Just to show you this here, This is back in August when we started talking about this, right in here, August 18th to the high. This is up almost 500% since I gave this information to my community, but also giving it to hear you on YouTube. You know, usually I share stuff with Cryptonaires, and then on Tuesdays and Fridays, if I want to talk about it here, I do that. I also want to show you AIN. This is at 6.2 million market cap right now. You will not believe this, but I actually shared AIN at 462,000 market cap inside of Cryptonaires. 462,000. This has done almost a 10x since I originally posted it. Check this out. So when was this post? This post was 8/17. 8/17. Let's go back 3 months here on the chart. Let's go ahead and 8/17 is right here, guys. 8/17 is right here, right? Look at this. Look at that. 670% depending on where the wick was. Obviously, if we use the bottom of the wick here, depending where you bought on the 17th, right? If it's way down here, it could be even more, right? This is 2000%. Realistically, it's up about from the top to when I posted it, it went up about 10x in just those 3 months. So there's so much information being shared inside of Cryptonaires right now and projects. It's hard to keep up, but we're going to talk about that. It's to do with the 402x narrative that I shared last week. But it's great to see a lot of people in Cryptonaires making money right now from some of the things that we talked about. And obviously, if you guys participated in those streams back in August, you are doing extremely well with those projects. Zach Rector noted the XRP spot ETF on Canary today. I was just talking to Zach actually on Twitter chat. We were discussing something deeply troubling that will be coming out probably here soon. We're just trying to figure out maybe how to let the community know, and it's a very tough subject. And Zach's a really great guy, you know, and it's really nice to speak with him. I really value his opinion. But let's see what's going on with Canary Capital today. Like, let's see what's going on with that. So let me see. Canary. Let me see. Let me pull up update on XRP ETFs with Canary Capital. Let me see here. Do you know what was said there, T.S. Scott or T. Scott? Let's see here. There's no approved Canary Capital ETF trading live yet. Canary Capital remains actively in the running for a spot ETF. S1 registration statement on the October 10th. I don't know. What's the news, Scott? Could it be tomorrow? Sal said big investors, and we don't need to scream, Sal, but I appreciate you wanting to share this information. He says big investors are selling their own crypto at very low price intentionally to panic majority of small investors to grab their crypto at very, very cheap prices. You know, I'd imagine that in some way you're probably right. There probably is some manipulation happening. Not everybody in the space is like that, but there probably is a share of people that are doing something like this. But thank you for getting that information out. I really do appreciate it. Hello, Sensei. Are getting approved today? Is that what Zach was saying? Let me message Zach, dude. Let me just send him a DM here. Zach, people are saying in my live stream, Canary Capital XRP ETFs are being approved. You got info? Let me see if he'll respond there. I sent him a message to see if we can get some information. I had a really busy morning today. I hadn't seen anything news. Announced that it was breaking news live today. Let me see. Let's pull up let's see here. Hold on. Let's pull this up here, guys. Let's pull this up here. Canary Capital. Canary Capital. Is this their Twitter account with 6,200 followers? No. Is it really? Hold on. Let me just double check this, guys. Canary Funds. Let's see. Is that Canary Funds? It is Canary Funds. So this is Canary Capital. They talked about HBAR ETF, Litecoin. I don't really see too much about, I don't see too much about XRP. Let's see what the word on the street is. Canary Capital, XRP, spot, XRP. Let's see if anyone's talking about on X here. I mean, I don't see anything here. They filed an S1 on the 10th. He might be talking about, since other ETFs are being approved, that it's inevitable that the XRP spot ETFs will be approved any day now. I think that's a pretty good assumption. His title, his 10 p.m. live as XRP fake out. Zach said something about a 20-day automatic approval. Okay, so let me show you what she's talking about. Okay. You're talking about the A8 form. Okay, guys, so let's get educated here. I got you. Okay. So what everyone's talking about is this. All right, let's learn about this, okay? Because I was going to talk about this with you anyways, okay? So let me set this up. So what we have been told and what was explained to the community is, because the government is shut down, that some functions at the SEC are not happening, which, we're waiting for these approvals for a bunch of spot products. Okay. And there's been some people on both sides of that saying nothing will be approved with the shutdown. And there's some people on the other side saying things are still getting approved. So what's being approved right now is something through this A8 form. So let me go through this with you. Canary Fund Spot HBAR and Litecoin ETFs are now effective and will begin trading on NASDAQ tomorrow, according to CEO Stephen McClurg. Litecoin and Hedera are the next two token ETFs to go effective after Ethereum, McClurg said in a statement. We look forward to launching tomorrow. And so it gives you some additional information, but it says, how is this possible during a government shutdown, you ask? Well, the operation of law does not always actually require an open government. It's an understanding of the 8-8 filings that are just as important as the S1s in getting the ETFs ready to launch. A quick catch up on terminology. The 8A formally registers ETF shares under the 1934 Act of Trading and Trading on an Exchange, while the S1 registers them under Securities Act of 1933. This morning, the New York Stock Exchange certified all 8A filings for the ETFs above, aka the final step before shares start trading live. But what about the SEC staff needing to greenlight the S1 registration statements? Here's the key. The issuers included language in their amended S1s that lets them automatically go effective after 20 days. So what I was searching for, was there any 8-A filings for XRP? I think if there was, that is what could automatically approve these. Typically, issuers delay the S1 until the SEC takes them effective, but the legal default is the S1 goes automatically effective without the SEC intervention. That means that the agency doesn't need to approve them manually, and the filings can go live on their own. So I think that is what maybe he's talking about here. Just to give you some additional information. What's up, Paul? You want to see Sensei twerk? Hit the like button. Twerk. You're crazy, Paul. I like you, man. It's great to see you, Paul. Yeah, I think that's what Zach's talking about, guys. I think that's what he's talking about here. Let me see if he responded to the messages. I know he's kind of in the middle of something. Not yet, though. If he does, I'll bring up his responses. But I think that's what we're talking about, guys. Hard to say what that man's going to do. We hope, right? We hope that something positive will come out. Anytime, guys, like, this is what we're here for. We're here to give you information so you can know what's going on here in the space. Yeah, so that is what we're talking about here, is with these filings with HBAR and with Litecoin, that there's a consensus in the community that XRP should be any day. And so the third was, second, third, fourth, that's kind of where I think it'll happen or land. Yeah. Sorry if that didn't, if that wasn't explained properly, I do apologize. We're putting out 3 videos a day right now, guys, and sometimes things get a little mixed up on titles and things like that. But I do believe that was the video where I went over the filings, the thing I just went through. I went through this tweet talking about the A8 filings. Now here, this is what, you know what the better thing to know is here. Let's find out if there was any filings like this made through XRP. Were there any filings for XRP? This is what we really want to know, right? Was there any of these filings? See, there have not been any completed certified 8A filings for spot XRP. So we'll have to see how this all unfolds, guys. Look at Ed's post. Look it up on the SEC website. Anything going on with the EDSR? I don't know what the EDSR is. Yeah, guys, listen, there's a lot of things happening first week, right? No, Ripple Swell is coming. That video could have been talking about the big announcement. So anytime there's a swell event, you usually get some huge announcements. So that's probably what that was about if it wasn't about the specific filing dates. I'd have to go back and look which video. Like some days I'm making 4 videos, some days I'm making 5 videos. So I'd have to go back. I don't watch every single video after I've recorded it and after it's edited, because there's just not enough time to, live, right? If I'm going back and watching all of my own content, not something that's reasonable. But there's a lot of things happening, guys. All right. I know we're all excited to get some good news. I think a lot of good news is on the way. All right. It was a Sunday video. Yeah. I've been sick too. Like I was sick all weekend and I was still making content. I think there's so much going on and I'm trying to power through getting over this cold and struggling. Yeah. XRP itself is not a security, but the product that these institutions will be, having available on the market, those are securities, right? The spot ETF, when you buy a share of that ETF, that is a security. Okay. Those ETFs, those spot ETFs are backed up by real XRP. Okay. And so the reason spot ETFs are important is because they're going to need fresh XRP off the open market to fund those ETFs. Okay. So if you have $1 billion in fresh demand for whatever Canary Capital ETF, spot XRP ETF, they need to fund that ETF with fresh XRP, right? Each security share represents a certain amount of XRP, right? And that's how all of that works. But great questions, guys. I'm glad we're going through this. Have I heard anything about Canada with XRP outside of the United States? Actually, I haven't. Canada's been, pretty quiet. I haven't seen any updates specifically talking about Canada. I only saw kind of the recent I don't know if you want to call it drama or miscommunication between Canada's PM and like the trade negotiations, I guess, ceased or both sides pulled back on that. So other than that, I didn't see anything specifically talking about XRP, Tom. Kevin Sloan went to $20. Please give your stance when 1.4 million federal workers finally get a paycheck at low estimate 3.5 trillion become liquid, even at low rate of investment into crypto. What impact? So Kevin, thank you for the donation. Listen, I'm going to tell you something from my heart and my soul. Whether how you take this, I don't know, but this is what I think about this. Okay. When you work for the government, whether it's military or another job, usually you're doing that out of, honor and respect for the country, right? Like you have probably been either in the service and now you're retired and you're working for the government in some capacity. Maybe you're some type of teacher or whatever it is, right? Air traffic controller. But these are regular people, right? Most of these people, they live paycheck to paycheck, right? And so I know we look at this as maybe when the government reopens, there's an influx in cash, but a lot of these people are going to be struggling and are struggling right now, right? And so they're going to be like, if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you don't get a paycheck, you might not be able to pay your rent. You might not be able to put food on the table for your kids or yourself. You might not be able to pay your car payment. So, is this going to be an injection of capital? It might, but realistically, a lot of these people that work for the government aren't, multimillionaires and billionaires, right? This is not additional capital that they're just going to go do whatever with. They need to go back and pay those bills that might be late. So I think it's a very complicated issue. And, my heart goes out to all the people that are struggling right now, to be quite frank with you. I don't know if it's going to have an impact on crypto. I wouldn't count on it. I guess that I wasn't even thinking this. But you never know, Kevin. You never know. Thank you for the donation. So it says Zach got a message when he was live that XRP was also going live today on top of Solana and Litecoin. If it is, guys, I haven't seen anything. None of the top XRP channels are talking about it. I've not seen like a Paul Barron or anybody of note. Digital Perspectives, Digital Asset Investor. Nobody's talking about it. And thank you for Landon. Thank you for the donation. I really appreciate it. You guys are pretty incredible today with the donations. I don't know what to say. Yeah, I know we're all anxious to have this done, but if you want to get like on the conspiracy side of things, like the speculative side of things, you would think that delaying the spot XRP approval to like right after swell would probably be the best thing for anybody. Like if you are an institution and you're looking to buy some XRP, you're going to get a better price today rather than if the ETFs are launched, right? And so, you could say that they're delaying it for a specific reason to happen right after swell. I mean, if you're a Ripple and you're writing a playbook here for, and I don't think Ripple does this, but like, I think somebody at Ripple is strategically thinking about time and day and these types of things. You would think that the perfect time for a spot ETF would be after all of the big announcements that swell leading up to the ETFs. Like that's what I would do if I was given the opportunity to control that timeline. Yeah, Luna's going to get chunky today. We bought her so many treats, man. What's up, Richard? Great to see you, dude. Richard, did you share Pay AI in Cryptonaires early? I know you shared it with me around like 10 million or 11 million. It's like 60 something million now. Did you share it inside of Cryptonaires too? Oh my God, that was crazy, right? Oh, 6-hour game. I was so tired, man. Like, oh, Freddie Freeman came through. The hitting needs to be better, man. Edmund, Rojas kind of came in. It was like Edmund, Betts needs to hit better. Who else was kind of really bad last night? They're like without Otani and like Kike needs to hit a little bit better. But yeah, man, the pitching was on point yesterday, dude. The pitching was on point. Hope the Jays win it. Hunter, man, listen, I love you for being a fan of the channel, but I'm gonna stick with my Dodger blue here. But hey, man, I wish you guys luck. Like I know it's when we get to sports, I can get very competitive, and this is not what this is about. But listen, I'm gonna watch the game, and I know it's like you got the all-star kind of American team here, and you have the all-star Canadian team. I think it's really cool that both these teams are competing at such a high level, and it's really exciting to watch them play, man. It's really exciting. Eleanor Terrett posted about it. Let's go take a look then. Let's go take a look, man. Eleanor Terrett, the great Eleanor Terrett. Let me pull her up. All right, so that's not what we want to talk about. The first ever Sol Litecoin H-bar ETFs just opened straight on Wall Street. We're having a weird cat picture. Gotta love that. This one's about Solana. Yeah, I mean, even Solana stuff's right going live. Just filed its Solana spot ETF registration statement. It'll be visible on the SEC Gov website tomorrow. So we're getting a lot of updates on other cryptocurrencies. So, you know, Richard, so you did post it in Cryptonaires? Man, there's a lot of really good information being shared in that community right now. Guys, I know people are wondering like what I'm talking about here. You know, if you're interested, like I do have a side community that a lot of this information is shared into. It is like I think $97 a month, so it isn't, you know, cheap. We don't want a million people in there, but there's a lot of really incredible researchers and people sharing valuable information there. And I'm always sharing different things across the crypto space and things that I'm looking at and interested in too. Dude, if are they gonna pitch to him? Dude, they're gonna be scared to pitch to him, man. Wait, are we talking sports? Yeah, we're talking sports. I love cats too. I like dogs more though. I like dogs more. All right, let's get back to some crypto, guys. Here, I got some other stuff I want to show you. Right, there's some pretty big clips here. Right, let's talk about this one. I had this in a video from the other day. I wanted to just push this out. Let me play this for you.
I think it's going to be massive, actually, and I'll probably go even slightly further than the other guys. I think we have now the tokenized cash version, call it what you like. We have the tokenized money market fund stuff. We have each of these weekend liquid now. We have a large push now already into tokenized equities. We will get Clarity Act, SEC guidelines. We'll work out what we can do in DeFi, what's legitimate, what can scale in DeFi. And I think this is all like in the next 6 to 9 months, actually. And so I think if we today have something like $30 billion in tokenized real-world assets outstanding, in 12 months, we're going to be at like 300 billion. So I think you're just at that acceleration point where regulation, liquidity, and others can come together, and we can move very, very quickly. So it's equities now. It will be tokenized broader funds at some stage. Like when I talk to the real money accounts, at some stage next year, one of the main ones that possibly starts with B is going to say, okay, here's like $50 billion fund, which is now all in tokenized space. And when after that, you'll get all the FOMO from all the others doing exactly the same, right? So we're just now at that tipping point in tokenized real-world asset space. And the average person will end up with a new wallet in their phone. They won't know the cash part is stablecoins. They won't know the equity part is tokenized Apple stock. They won't know the money market fund is with BIDL, right? So, and because of AI agents next year, when everyone has that as well, every time you get paid every month, an individual will be able to be super capital efficient, right? So money comes in and goes out immediately to each of these assets, and you can get in and out of them on weekends. You can do stuff in DeFi with them to get extra leverage as well. So I think we're just there now at this explosion. So actually, for me, if 2025 has been about stablecoins, 2026 might be all about this, quite seriously.
Guys, listen, we are on the precipice of all of this happening. There was a few comments that I just wanted to touch base on. David Taylor said, "What are your thoughts on XRP, XLM, and HBAR?" Obviously, all three are assets that I do hold. I don't hold nearly as much XRP and HBAR. I think it's a very small amount compared to XRP. Obviously, my channel revolves around Ripple and XRP, and that is like the #1 thing in my heart. But I think all three of those assets are good. There was another comment that I wanted to touch base on here. B Fire says, B Soul. Did you set that up? B Fire, B Soul? B Soul went live today and the price pulled back. So I listen, sometimes, most of the time, right? The market has already priced in the approval. Okay. But what you guys need to understand is it doesn't matter what the price is on the first day. It matters what the price is 6 weeks, 6 months, a year down the line. This unlocks institutional capital. Trillions of dollars that are available in the traditional markets can then start to flow into crypto assets through these products. We are underestimating the level of demand we are going to see from all of these things going forward. So yes, the token might have pulled back today. And I think you saw the same thing play out with the HBAR chart. You saw it go up and then you saw some price, but when we look at this in like 5 days or 6 weeks or whatever it is, I do believe it's going to be higher. I appreciate the comments though. I hope we were able to address some of those things. Thank you for the questions, guys. Let's see here. Zulu Warrior ETFs had better perform. XRP is running out of time and excuses to do something. Patience is running thin with the ones who have stuck with XRP. We are still miles off for XRP in 2018, 384. Like, listen, Zulu, I understand that there can be some frustration, right? And I get it. I understand that. You know, but I think we're all focused on the wrong things here. I'm not focused on day-to-day prices for XRP. I don't really care if the ETFs get like I care if the ETFs get approved, but I'm still not going to sell my XRP tomorrow, right? Even if you get $5 billion in the first day, are you going to sell your XRP? Like, what are your target levels? So like the intraday price for XRP, it doesn't matter to me. I don't wake up and check my phone and look for XRP price. I can't tell you the last time that I have personally went to my phone to check the XRP price. Right? Maybe I've done it for like videos and somebody that called me and asked me, about it. But me personally, because I know that days that the price is up, I'm feeling great. And when the price is down, I feel terrible. And I know that I'm a very kind of emotional person, and I just don't want to deal with that day to day. I don't care what it is today or tomorrow. I care what it is in 5 years or 3 years. And I've totally disconnected myself from the day-to-day pricing. But I appreciate your feedback, Sulu. I understand your frustration, and I hope you can kind of see the forest through the trees here and see what's on the other side of this thing. That I believe that this is where this is going, but everybody is going to make their own bets. They're going to sell when they think it's right. If you're not sure when to do that, you need to speak with some type of financial advisor, guys. All right. Sensei, over the weekend, when Coinbase had a scheduled maintenance, I was sent coins randomly. I know they were scams, but I've never been sent coins randomly. Does this happen often? Yes, it does. AK Scarface, it happens every day in the crypto market. They want you to go and try to sell them. Sometimes they even look like they're super valuable. I've had experiences in my own life where I was sent something and it was like, oh, you have $20,000. And you're like, oh, really? And then you start to research it. You do see it's a scam. What they want you to do is go interact with the contract to approve to go to sell it. And that is when they'll drain your wallet. So this is why I don't ever have my wallet on auto tokens, where like if something comes into my wallet automatically, that it doesn't automatically list the token. I want to purposely go and list each token that I am buying and selling, because you're going to get a ton of scams that are going to get sent to you, especially if you have money in your wallet. They're going to target you. So just be careful. All right. Do you think XRP ETF will approve with the government shutdown? Like you're getting Litecoin, you're getting HBAR, you're getting Solana. Why wouldn't you get XRP, guys? I know when we're so close to something that we believe that our thing is more special over their thing. But realistically, to these institutions, a crypto asset is a crypto asset. They shouldn't treat XRP differently. I know we've gone through the court case, and I know we can sit here and go back and forth, but realistically, this is a process that has now been put into place to expedite the approval of these products. As long as A, B, and C line up, these products should be approved. I don't think we're going to have to wait too much longer, unless there is some type of conspiracy, unless there is something on a higher level holding this back. But I don't think there's a grand conspiracy to hold XRP back, guys. I really don't. Like, I think it's just one of those things where you're having the smallest markets go first, right? XRP is the largest market. And realistically, I would like it to be after, what's it called? I talk to my mom. I try to talk to her every day. But I talk to her at least a few times a week. And she's been following my channel, and she's trying to learn what she can about crypto. And she decided to invest some money into XRP, right? And she's trying to kind of get stuff ready to send it over so I can help her buy it. And so, I don't mind this little extra time that we have here. I can buy a little bit more. I can get, my mom's going to, buy some XRP too. Like I'm okay with having a few extra days here, I'm good with it, but I know I don't think like everyone else, and I get why some people are frustrated. All right. When Lambo, oh, it's okay. Good to see you, man. I hope you're well. So Dro Dietz says, any news on BlackRock getting involved with XRP? I heard people like Jake Claver say it's inevitable, but I haven't heard anything. So we need to understand what level of participation or getting involved with are you talking about? You already have BlackRock connected to Ripple and XRP through Securitize, through the Buildle, right? Ondo, right? You already have those connections, and we've talked about those at length. Now, if you're talking about actually BlackRock buying XRP, yeah, we don't have any actionable information that we can go to and say this is BlackRock's wallet that owns XRP. You would imagine an institution like that, especially if they're getting involved with Ripple, that they probably already have something lined up. It's not public knowledge yet, but we do have a lot of connections between BlackRock and Ripple and XRP already. All right. Hey, Sensei, when XRP goes to the moon, can we come to Hawaii have a party? Chris J, I would love that, man. Absolutely, bro. We will. You know what? When this all happens, we have our party liaison here, Nicole. Nicole's gonna put it all together for us. We will have a huge get together. Everyone can fly out on their, private jets or whatever it is, right? Maybe somebody comes in on a yacht. I don't know, guys. However you want to get here, it would be an absolute pleasure to hang out with you guys and just to celebrate all the hard work that we've all put in, right? Whether it's me out here making the content or if it's you at home listening to the content every day and doing your own research, we're all putting parts of our lives on hold right now to take this information in and try to capitalize on the moment. And for that, I hope that you guys are not too hard on yourselves in your life right now. Maybe your friendships are suffering a little bit. Maybe you're not doing, and you're not spending as much time on something that you love to do because you're trying to put yourself in a better position in life. I get that. I understand it. And, I hope everyone's not going to be too hard on themselves. Oh, I do have Rob here. I wanted to bring Rob up just for a few minutes here. I just wanted to touch base. Rob does a lot of really incredible things for vets and in the vet community. And he had something that he wanted to speak and share about. I wanted to give him a platform to do that. And so, Rob, let me bring you up here, man. Hold on, let me throw on my my headphones here so I can hear what you're saying. Rob, great to have you. What's going on, dude?
Hey, thanks a lot. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Do you have a camera or are you going to be incognito?
A lot of stuff going on in the house. That's
You're good,
messy.
brother. You're good. It's not important. I just wanted to make sure that you knew that you're incognito, but you had something that you wanted to talk about with the community. I wanted to give you a platform. It's all yours, brother. Go for it.
Hey, thanks a lot. Just for the first 30 seconds, I just want to tell you my testimony because this will explain a lot of what I'm saying. So I was diagnosed when I was 21 years old with keratoconus. It's a eye disease and it tears your corneas and you go blind. So I did go blind, and I got on Social Security disability. And after 2 years, you get on Medicare for disability. And that's when I got introduced for the no cost benefits through Medicare, the VA, and Medicaid and SSD, Social Security disability in the US. So 10 years ago, I joined Phil Doherty. He's a licensed federal person that does insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, VA. And he said I was going to be a good face to talk to people because I'm the one that actually, does the benefits and I use them. So we hooked up the last 10 years and we've been providing no cost benefits to the veterans. And then about 5 years ago, I met Mark Tulloch and Vince from Chicago, and they introduced me to Dogface Foundation. And Dogface Foundation does the extra benefits other than insurance for the vets. So in the United States, we created a 501c3. We just got approved in December of last year, even though I've been doing it for 10 years. So we provide food bank AI education for job placement. We have homelessness help for the vets, for disabled. And then we do the benefits for the VA and intake for disability. Okay, so what I did is I found out that Walmart has what's called the Spark Good. So I am approved, and we have a connection with the American Legion. So what I'm asking is if you're interested and you want to help out the veterans and the first responders in the United States, if there's a Walmart that is near you, and you'd like to volunteer for an hour, I can reserve a nonprofit reservation at Walmart for 1 hour. We're a table and chairs, and we'll provide the flyers for you to pass out to the veterans. We'll provide the food like snacks, water bottles, and giveaways from Walmart. And we'll have 1 or 2 volunteers from the American Legion to help out the vets with our benefits. And so we just need a button seat to POC it. So if you can volunteer 1 hour of your time and you have a Walmart next to you, email me. Our email address is support, so SUPPORT at dogfacefoundation.org. Support at.
I just shared it, Rob, too. Support at dogfacefoundation.org. Really quickly, let me just jump in here, and then you can kind of, add a few things, guys. Listen, I know our personal lives, we get caught up with whatever we're doing, but sometimes we need to kind of take a step back and figure out how we can help the people around us. Vets are so important. Whatever country you live in, these people go and they do everything that we ask them to do. They come back, and a lot of these people need help. And so if you have an hour of your time and you can help out in any situation, please, I gave you Rob's email. Reach out, spend an hour of time. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Rob, I'll throw it back to you, man. Thank you.
And then the final thing is the purpose to all this for the last 10 years, and that hits home with a lot of people, is you have a lot of people, not only civilians, but in the vet industry, first responders, even in crypto world, because what's the words that when you go into CoinMarketCap, you see fear and panic, right? So even there's a mental health area. So you have PTSD, you have trauma. So a big crux of what we're doing is what's called a 22-0 initiative. If you ever heard of it, that means that every 24 hours there's 22 suicides that happen every 24 hours, and that's unacceptable for the vets and first responders. So we provide no cost mental health. We have therapists around the country that do virtual work, and there's no cost.
Man, Rob, that's you've been doing this for such a long time, and I think people are underestimating how much time and energy you put into helping all these people, and I think it's incredible. For people watching this at a later time, there's going to be the email address is going to be in the description of the video, as well as I'm going to repost it live now in the chat. Rob, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us or tell us before kind of we end here?
Yeah, our website is dogfacefoundation.org. And if you want to donate to help provide no cost benefits to vets, I appreciate the donation. We do fiat and crypto. And so dogfacefoundation.org. Thanks a lot, Rob.
Let me just make sure I got it right. Is this the right website?
Yep.
Okay, great. So dogfacefoundation.org, guys. If you have any time, if you have any additional capital to help out vets, please take a moment and do that now. It's extremely important. Even with the government shutdown, it's good to do this any other time too, but vets really need your help right now. So Rob, thank you for coming on and giving us this information. We're going to pass it along, and anybody that can help out, I'm sure will step up and spend some time to help. Okay.
Okay, and this has nothing to do with the foundation, but somebody asked this question. So if you happen to get that token from Coinbase and you happen to make a mistake, do I have to create a new Coinbase and a new seed phrase and start over?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
No. So all they have is your wallet. They don't have your seed phrase. And so they're trying to just like, it's going to happen if you create another wallet and your wallet has money in it. So you're good. You know, just because somebody sent you a token that is a scam doesn't mean you need to interact with it. You hide the token, you forget about it, you move on.
Okay, and
Yeah.
for those stupid people that actually handle that, then you need to create a new wallet.
So for the people that interacted with the scam token, yes, you should create a new wallet right away. You should transfer all your crypto as quickly and efficiently and safely as possible, and try not to do that again.
Okay, have a good day, guys.
All right, Rob. If you need more help with that, you send me a DM and I'll do what I can after the stream to help you.
Okay, see ya.
All right, Rob. Bye-bye. All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much for that few minutes. I think it's very important to share Rob's message and everything that he's doing. And, you know, anything that I can do to help too. I told him before we came on here, you know, all right. let's shift gears here. Yeah, we're not going to talk about tune edits. Yeah. All right, guys, let's I did want to show you this though. I brought this up in a video I recently did, and just take a look at this. I mean, I know we get caught up. I know we get caught up every day in the price, what it is right now, what it is in an hour. But realistically, like let's just take a deep breath. Let's zoom out and let's understand what's happening here, right? You are talking about a transformation of an entire global financial system. That new global financial system is going to run via blockchain rails, whether it's stable coins, tokenized assets, what have you. It's all coming, right? You have quadrillions of dollars of value out in the world. It is going to find its way onto a blockchain over the next few years, 5 years, 10 years, however long it takes, it is coming. Here are the largest financial institutions on the planet, and this green button shows you how they are participating in this digital asset revolution. So you have BlackRock, you have Bank of America, BNY Mellon, you have SIBO, Charles Schwab, Citi, CME, DBS, Deutsche Boris, Fidelity, Franklin Templeton, Goldman Sachs, HSBC, Interactive Brokers, JP Morgan Chase, London Stock Exchange, MasterCard, Morgan Stanley, Societe Generale, UBS, Visa, and Wells Fargo. And this on the top here says crypto trading and custody. You can see almost all of them are getting involved. Private crypto funds, you have a few of them here. Crypto ETPs, almost all of them, right? Crypto-enabled payments, some of them, but this could change over time, more can come. And then tokenization of real-world assets. It's going to be game-changing, man. Like I don't know. All right, I thought this was a really good clip. I had this from another video also. I just wanted to talk about this briefly. I felt like this was a really crazy clip. If you listen to the key details spoken in this clip, let me go ahead and play this, and I will highlight the areas I think are most important.
The front office is automated. There's low latency. Then you switch gears. Banks operate still typically in terms of batch processing, store and forward, and payments, messaging, clearing, and settlement are often decoupled and can take days. This dichotomy is just unsustainable. And in response, we're seeing and hearing at Sibos how a number of FIs and FI-backed consortiums are harnessing blockchain, smart contracts, digital assets to align the performance of banking and payment systems with those of the digital economy. The second takeaway, I'd say, is that the Internet of Value is beginning to crystallize. And let me start with a framework. Let's think of the old industrial flywheels that take a lot of energy to make a half turn and a full turn. But once they start turning, there's momentum and it's hard to stop them. So let's overlay adoption of blockchain and digital assets. They've proven value. So part of the first turn, feasibility, certainly. And now we're seeing these use cases get into the bottom of that first turn, economic viability. And there's some exciting initiatives we heard about at Sibos around interbank payments, delivery versus payments, for example, correspondent banking, messaging, cross-border, interbank, intrabank, intra-company, and importantly, when we get to the ESG, the S part, remittances. So lots of interesting energy there. And we're seeing cryptocurrencies like XRP, Stellar Lumens, and stablecoins like USDC playing an important role in getting that wheel to turn and deliver the Internet of Value. Also, the introduction of central bank digital currencies will accelerate the mainstreaming of digital assets. I'd say my third, coming to the crown jewel here, cryptocurrencies are gaining legitimacy as a new asset class. When the Bitcoin paper first came out, it was going to be the missing link, the internet of value, a medium of exchange. But as we know, Bitcoin failed as a medium of exchange for legal activities. Then the pivot was to blockchain, distributed ledger technology as the new disruptor. Now we're seeing Bitcoin as in the lead as a new digital asset class, which has profound implications. It's been initially driven by retail investors. Now we're seeing institutional investors enter the game. And with institutional investors, you get more sophisticated demand. And that certainly is going to accelerate developments in decentralized finance.
Sorry about that. My wife sent me a text and I was trying to respond to it. Man, a lot of really crazy things in that clip. Mentioning Ripple, XRP, mentioning the adoption, CBDC, stablecoins, a lot of things happening. I did want to address a few things in the chat here. Red Productions said there was a YouTuber that said Swift will not work with XRP, period. Swift posted this. There's a possibility that XRP would not come. So, guys, we all right. I get it. Okay. The innovation officer at Swift has done everything he can to downplay the importance of Ripple and XRP. You know, that's great. But you got to understand, Swift is 13,000 or 11,500 banks. Okay. Each one of those banks is going to make a decision on what they want to do. You don't have like a hierarchy, like a president that says none of you banks can use XRP or Ripple. That's not how life works. All of these financial institutions are going to be able to use whatever technology that they feel is going to benefit them. All right. And what you need to understand is there is a hierarchy with banks. You have the JP Morgans and the Citibanks and the HSBCs of the world. They are at the top of the pyramid. And then going down, you have the smaller to mid-sized banks, and then you have the smaller credit unions. Now, any of those mid-sized banks, smaller credit unions, or even the larger institutions that have to use the big boys rails, they no longer have to do that. They have other technologies that they can go to. So I think people need to get it out of their mind that Swift was a very powerful network over the last 50 years, but it doesn't necessarily mean that Swift will be here for the next 50 years. There's technology that far exceeds what Swift can offer right now. And who wants to still continue to use Nostro Vostro accounts when you can bypass all of it? So we need to stop getting caught up in what Swift says they will or will not do. Who cares? Who cares what random man at Swift thinks when you're talking about 11,500 banks? You think one person speaks for all of that? Like, let's take a minute and just think about what you're trying to say here. Like, I get we get wrapped up and we get emotional about what somebody says, right? And we think that whatever that person's saying is right. It's never going to change. Swift can say whatever they want to right now. They are actually being replaced by a superior technology. Of course, they're going to say no one's ever going to use this. But realistically, is that what we're seeing? If no one's ever going to use it, why is BlackRock and VanEck and every single large financial institution going to Ripple Swell? Like, what's the point? If they're all going to never use Ripple and XRP, why even go to the event? To be nice? Come on, man. Let's just take, like, what you're saying here just doesn't hold up when you give extra layers of scrutiny. Like, they're worried. They're going to say whatever they can. I find it interesting that the innovation officer, has time to go on to Twitter or X and badmouth XRP. Like, you think that this person has other things to do in his life, like build better technology, offer solutions, right? What? Come on, guys. I get it, man, but we just need to like start thinking about the things that we're saying, right? And I get it, right? It's sometimes it's a lack of education, sometimes it's just trusting everything anybody says. Nobody is ever going to be 100% right. Things are actively changing all the time, right? Ripple and XRP, Ripple is trying to replace Swift. Let's be honest. They said that they'll work with them because that's what you're supposed to say when you're a CEO of a company like that, right? But realistically, you're thinking like, these guys are done, right? Okay. All good. We're good. We're good. All right. Hey, man. Oh, yeah, the game, right? The game's in half an hour, bro. I hear you. We're going to end before the game starts. Trust me. So, Iman says, we need Trump to wipe out the national debt with XRP and we're set. Man, I feel that. I would love that, brother. I would love that. The real money is in Shiba Inu. 405 cars. You are wild, man. I like it. All right. Let me see here. What else you guys got? I'm trying to go through some of these messages here. How do we give Curtis a timeout? Does Curtis need a timeout? Swift is dial up. There you go, man. What's up, D Nice? Great to see you, man. Glad you're here. Wes Brown, glad I could finally catch one of your lives. Just a question. Is 12 XRP a good bag? Wes, I think 12 XRP is a great start, man. I don't know if that's a serious question or if that's a real question. Either one, I think that's a great start. Obviously, 12 of anything is probably not going to get you where you want to go eventually, right? Like if you had 12 Bitcoin at this point, yes, that's a lot of money, but 12 XRP, even 12 Ethereum, well, 12 Ethereum is, kind of zesty, but I think you know what I'm saying, man. Like great start. Welcome to the community. But, if you want to like retire, like I think a lot of people's goal here is to buy an asset, sit on the asset for a while, and hopefully that asset goes up enough to retire. You would need XRP to be like $1 million a token to retire on 12, right? And that you would need a total financial collapse. And then like the whole world runs on the XRP ledger to get to $1 million. Hey, Sensei, did you buy Sora? I didn't buy Sora. You asked me this in Discord. I don't know why you're asking me. And again, when I answered you on Discord, you did share it to me. Yes, it did go up 3x. You've been sharing a lot of stuff. You're doing a great job, Richard. Keep rocking it, man. I'm rooting for you, man. James, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support, man. It really means the world to me. It really does. Like, it really does. Sensei, can't get your earlier statement out of my head about really bad news. Hope all is okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's complicated. It's really complicated. I can't say anything right now. Like, I'm not trying to be whatever. There's just a lot of really incredible things going on in my life right now, and like to bring this up would make those things very complicated for me. And it's not my thing. It has nothing to do with me, and I really don't want any part of it. I really don't. But like, I think people are going to be very surprised and shocked when this stuff really starts to come out. Yeah. 5 spot for Luna doggy treat. Seawoods, man. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you, man. That's a huge deal. Luna is Luna's gonna eat so good today, man. Look at these donations we got. Like we have $10, $2, $10, $20, $5, and another $5, man. We can get a full like week treats for Luna. Thank you, Seawoods. I really appreciate you. Dude, I actually met with somebody earlier today who actually has connections with the Flare team. And there's a lot of really incredible technologies and things being built out right now. I'm trying to bring in these people to talk with everybody, as well as seeing if I can get the CEO of Flare or somebody high level at Flare to come in and talk about everything. So there's a lot of really incredible things happening right now in the background. My team is out there working incredibly hard. Jalen from Neo Launch, her and her team have just been working night and day to bring this all together. And I'm really excited what the next few months are going to hold. I think there's a lot of really incredible people I'm about to have on the show. And I'm just thankful for the community support, because the reason people are taking notice of the channel right now is because of all your support, guys. Get Luna and XRP haircut. Luna's going to be good, man. Luna's going to be good. It's not something that's going on with me. Like, I'm fine, guys. I'm fine, but it's something to do with a very big name in the XRP space. Very big. You know the person. Like, we've talked about the person several times in this chat already. That person has some things in their closet that are being talked about right now by everybody in the background. And a lot of people are scared to talk about this because it is a hornet's nest. And when this information does come out, it's going to have I don't even like it. It's, you know, when something's so toxic, it's so toxic that if it comes out, like, I don't even know how bad it could be. So I'm just not going to go there. There's a lot of other people that know about it. I'm surprised it hasn't been talked about publicly yet on a massive scale, but it'll come out soon enough. Nothing to do with Oscar. It's nothing to do with Oscar. Anyways, guys, let's get back to this, man, because like really, like it's a poison pill. I'm just not gonna keep talking about it, but like, just listen. Like, who I couldn't believe it when I first heard about it. Like, I didn't believe it. I 100% didn't believe it until I started talking with other influencers, and other influencers were sending me, like, people I don't talk to were sending me stuff, and like I still didn't believe it. And then I started to research it, and it's all public information, which is even more crazy. But it'll come out soon enough, guys. Like, just listen. I know we all have passions about who we trust in the crypto space, but even people that have the best images in the crypto space, you're going to be shocked when you hear some of this stuff. So I'll leave it at that. It's public information. If you really want to go find it, you can go find it. It's pretty simple. All right, I'll leave it at that. Red Productions, €59. Great support for you. Very nice work with the XRP community. Keep up the great work, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for your question earlier. I hope we addressed it, man. I didn't want to like, you know, I'm so passionate about all of this, and I'm so involved, and it really means the world to me to just be able to connect with people on a level like this and have these conversations about the crypto industry. And it's so important that we share this information with as many people as we can, and we just know what an important moment this is. Like, I don't think people realize how big of an impact the crypto industry is going to have on the entire world. And when we go from a $4 trillion market to a $100 trillion market over the next like 5 to 10 years, that is going to impact you financially to a level that you probably couldn't even imagine, right? And to be somebody that doesn't come from money, somebody that works, you know, 10 hours or 12-hour days, that comes home and has very little time to do anything else, but you put your blood, sweat, and tears into the crypto market, and you turn whatever it is into something that is life-changing. That moment right there is all of your hard work, is all of your passion, is all of your love, is all of your anger and frustration, all going to come to a point where it's going to be all worth it in the end. And we just don't want to get out too early. Okay. All right, thank you, man. This is I think this is the biggest donation we've had on the channel, so I really appreciate you. I'm not going to forget this one. How can Trump wipe out the debt with XRP at its current value? You couldn't. So I just did a video on this actually, so I can talk about this with pretty good knowledge on the subject. So the only way that, like, there's a few ways you could do this, but realistically there's only one way I see it happening. The US government could go out and buy XRP off the open market. Okay. Probably not going to happen. You would need to get congressional approval, which means you need Congress to approve any money that you're spending on going and buying crypto. Now, there's been ideas floated that you can basically revalue your gold certificates, because I think they're from decades ago, and they were at a certain level, and if you revalued it, the difference would be hundreds of billions of dollars, and you could take that money and get away. You could go and buy. I think their thing was to buy 5% of all Bitcoin, right? That was one of their ideas. But realistically, you need congressional approval. If you can find the money or get congressional approval, then what do you buy? Do you buy Bitcoin or do you buy something that makes more sense, which is like XRP, right? Bitcoin, great store of value for the people that believe in it. Bitcoin is going to keep going up as long as the Satoshi wallet never gets unlocked and as long as people don't ever find out who actually created Bitcoin. Because one of those two things could be a poison pill. Obviously, if you find out that the government created Bitcoin, nobody would trust it, right? And it would lose its mystique. And then also, if Satoshi's wallet was unlocked and that started selling that Bitcoin, that would obviously panic sell the entire market. It would be worse than like a black swan. It would be worse than what we just experienced with the liquidity crash, right? It would be, mark my words, it would be worse. I don't think those things are going to happen, but we also need to look at like what's realistically going to happen and what could happen, right? To understand what our risks are wherever we're doing these things. Now, it would make the most sense that if XRP is really going to be used on a scale that we believe, like we've done the research, we can see that it not only has a store of value, but it also has all of these other use cases that go along with it, whether it's stable coins or CBDCs or tokenization, whatever it is, right? Treasury, liquidity, corporate treasury, like the use cases for XRP are unlimited. Okay. Now there realistically is only maybe a few billion XRP that's available on exchanges. Now, if you look at how much XRP is on exchanges, there's a much higher number. I think the number is like 16 billion or 18 billion, but that XRP, most of that XRP is already bought and spoken for. So what is actually available for the US government to buy? Maybe it's less than 2 billion units. So the US government would probably go and talk with Ripple. They would probably work out a deal with Ripple to acquire maybe 1 billion, 5 billion, maybe even 10 billion XRP from Ripple. That is the only way I can see this working or happening, is working out a deal for escrowed XRP. And there's only 35 billion. I mean, there's 35 billion, give or take, in escrow. So normally 70% of that is relocked up, which I believe that means that 70% is available for Ripple to kind of do what they want. You could work out a deal with the US government, and just the FOMO around that deal would send XRP's price astronomically through the roof, right? The institutional level, the corporate level, the retail level of FOMO, hearing that the US government is going to be using XRP for anything would just be it would be mind-blowing. You've never seen anything like this, right? It would just be off the charts, which would make sense, right? That would send it through the roof. Now, the US government could take that XRP then and instead of, because like once the XRP is worth a certain amount, so if you had 10 billion XRP, just give you an example, and the XRP is worth $4,500 a token, that would be $45 trillion. Okay. Now, hold on. I think I just did a video on this. So I'm trying to remember what the research was that I was doing to bring this up so I can show you the actual math behind this. I'm just, I'm just trying to think here. Library. Let's see here. Yes. 1 trillion. I think I can find it. Hold on. Yes. Yep. I found it. Oh no, wait, I didn't find it. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Yes, I found it. Okay. Let me pull this up. I'm gonna take this down, Marlon, but we're gonna continue to talk about your question about paying off US debt with XRP. Okay. So just to give you some perspective here. Oh shoot, is this what I wanted to do? No, it's not. Shoot. Sorry, I spend so much time. Hold on. This is part of the research into it, but it's not it was not exactly the thing I wanted to show you. Because I need to find out how. Sorry, I have like 5 different searches on this. No, hold on. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I didn't know I was going to talk about this today. Hold on. Is this it? No. Hold on. Shoot. Hold on. I think this is this it? This is it. Okay, I found it. I'm sorry. It took me a second to find this. Okay, here we go. So the question is we're continuing to talk about right now, if you're just joining us, if the US government, how could the US government pay off its debt using XRP? Okay, so we built this conversation that the US government would need to probably make a deal with Ripple on escrowed XRP. They would take that XRP and then they would need to once the XRP is worth, let's say 40 trillion or 45 trillion, how would the US, because if you go to sell all of that XRP, you would collapse the market and you probably don't have $45 trillion worth of liquidity, right? So this is what you would do. All right. So you would need, however, the reality is that selling or using XRP at the price would require massive global buy-in and deep liquidity. Otherwise, the act of selling would trigger a dramatic supply shock or supply crash increase, as no market currently exists to handle such a large transfer at these prices. Okay. So this is how you would do it. Bilateral or multilateral agreements where the US creditors accept XRP as debt payment or a collateral asset. So the US wouldn't go to sell the XRP. They would say, hey, this XRP represents this $100 billion that we owe. Like Japan owns, I think, like around $2 trillion worth of US treasuries. So the US would send Japan $2 trillion worth of XRP, and that would be paying off that debt, right? That's how they would kind of go through all of that. So another way to do this here is swap facilities that convert XRP to fiat, or debt settlement requiring global central banks or multilateral institutions willing to hold XRP as an asset. So we know that financial institutions are coming more and more open to the idea that they're going to be holding these assets long term. They can use these assets for like XRP for on-demand liquidity or treasury operations or tokenization, whatever it is. Governments around the world, institutions around the world will use this asset on a massive scale. So this is something that they would be interested in, or direct international payments using XRP for trade, services, or asset settlements, reducing dollar reliance. So these are all ways that they could do that. Now, is this all going to happen? Is it going to play out like that? Very, very hard to say, right? I think the chances of all this happening are slim to none. So many things would have to go the right way in order for all of this to play out like that. But is it crazy that the US government makes a move in crypto? Probably. But right now you have all of these Bitcoin maximalists around the president. The crypto and AI czar, David Sachs, Bitcoin. Bo Hines, who went to work for Tether, Bitcoin. Senator Cynthia Lummis, her and her family are heavily invested in Bitcoin. All they do is push Bitcoin to the president. So it would take you would need somebody in Trump's ear telling him that it's XRP and not Bitcoin. And you would think, like, if the US government was going to get involved with buying crypto, why would you buy, I get it, but why wouldn't you go and support American companies, American innovation, right? Because that's what this whole thing was about when he got into office, right? We're going to go out and support XRP, Solana, ADA, right? Chainlink. That's what they should be doing, not buying Bitcoin, in my personal beliefs. All right. Whew, that we went down a freaking rabbit hole there, guys. Sorry if I got carried away. But when somebody asks me a question, I try to give everything I can as a good answer for that. Red Productions, thank you for becoming a member, man. Like, you're on fire today, dude. I really appreciate you, dude. Like, it's a lot. Hey, man, I hope it helps you. Like, I really truly hope it helps you learn. And I know, like, I'm going 100 miles a minute here, but it just interests me so much, and you get so much passion and love behind it, right? And man, let's see here. So the Treasury buys 20 billion XRP at current price. Well, see, there's not 20 billion XRP available. So the only place they could get it is through Ripple. That's the only place they could get it. And you wouldn't need 20 billion. If they got a bit, you would need, if they had a billion XRP would need to be about 40,000 per token, which is a lot. If they had 10 billion XRP, they would need 4,000 per token. if they had 5 billion XRP, you would need 20,000 per token. So like you could see the increments, right? Realistically, they probably, I don't know, man. They could do it, but is it realistically going to happen? That's hard to say, man. Matt Fitzpatrick here says World Liberty token scam and shady scheme in Dubai. Reuters published a symposium might be a scandal that is hush hush. Dude, there's a lot of stuff happening right now that just is egregious. But you know, what are we gonna do, man? Like half the world doesn't have a problem with it. Half the world thinks it's criminal. Nobody can really agree on anything at this point. Is it in a very big gray area? It is in a very big gray area, but I just don't think there's anybody anywhere that can do anything about it currently. All right. Miss says, have you seen the latest picture of President Trump posted? Japan is back. 2 black hats. Japan is back equals Phoenix Rising. I know there's a lot of conversation happening right now. I know Trump just there was some information about a deal with China possibly, which is great news. And I know they're in Japan. Are they talking about XRP? I have no idea. They're talking probably about trade and making sure that Japan has all of their interests and needs met, and the United States does as well. I know both of these countries are very intertwined with each other's financial systems, and it's very important that both do well. Yeah. Yeah, well, you're talking to a fellow ADHD person, so we're on the same wavelength. All right, I'm gonna give it to you fast and straight. Man, we have a lot of fun here. Crypto Sensei, you should mention how Zbic is partnered with XRP. Crypto Pete, I don't do any research on Zbic, my man. If you have some information that you'd like to share with everybody, I'd love to hear it. I know there was some rumors that the Zbic team and Ripple have some partnership, but I've never seen any like official statement for Ripple saying as much. Maybe that's all by design. I have no idea, man. It's just not my expertise. I'm really an XRP Ripple warrior at the end of the day. Like I eat, sleep, and breathe this. And that's the most important thing to me. But if you have some information, man, please share it. I love to hear it, dude. This must be an ADHD people. We attract like moths to a flame. We are the same. Yeah, we have a lot of ADHD people here. I guess maybe I should bring in like somebody who talks about like ADHD and like how we can. I don't know, man. It feels like there's maybe an opportunity here to engage. ADHD has great karma. I love that. Jen, it's great to see you, Jen. How's it going? Oh, always nice to see you, Jen. Yeah, I mean, listen, guys, XRP, Algorand, HBAR, Quant, XDC, XLM, Chainlink, Ethereum. I mean, it's all very important. Solana, Sui. I mean, all of those are probably going to be somewhat successful, some more than others, just like anything. Zach Rector saying XRP ETF will go live, but AI says, yeah. So Daniel, we did talk about this earlier. I think what Zach is talking about is a lot of these other ETFs are going live right now. And realistically, there shouldn't be any reason why XRP ETF shouldn't go live as well. We did talk about this maybe at the beginning of the stream. My personal belief is maybe they're trying to align this up with a Ripple Swell event. I'd imagine if Ripple called these institutions is like, hey guys, maybe let's wait till the after, like we can continue all of the good information and partnerships and big announcements coming out of Swell. Then we'll hit them with the ETFs. I think that would be a strategic move. But could it happen before then? 100%. Could it happen after? I don't know, man. We're going to see. I'm really excited. I'm really excited. Glossy, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, we don't promote anything like that. Like my whole thing when I was a kid, like that's, you go through all the tests and you go see the ADD doctor and they give you all of these tests and they watch you do stuff and, oh yes, ADHD or whatever it is, right? And then they're like, well, this is what we can do for you. And you take the medicine and you don't feel like you are who you are, right? It kind of changes the way you think. And I just never liked the feeling of any of that stuff. And I'm sure that a lot of other people that have dealt with the diagnosis and the the medication that they offer, it does kind of change your personality a bit and how you do and react. And some people love the change, and some people feel that it's not who they are. And you should always kind of go with what you feel is most important, regardless of how other people see you. This is who you are. You're a beautiful person. We get so involved with what other people think about us, and at the end of the day, doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. It's who you are. It's how you feel about yourself and your friends and your family, and everything else can just kind of go away. 4L Crypto, great to see you, man. How's the channel going? Have you been uploading? I hope so. What type of gummies are we talking about here, Nicole? Are we talking about melatonin gummies? Are we talking about the stronger, more herbal gummies? I don't really care either way. Happy gummies. Yeah. I'm with you guys. I'm with you. You just got to make sure you don't take too many, because then it stays with you the next day, right? So you just got to find that sweet spot. Maui Wowie gummies. You guys are too funny. You guys are too funny. Oh my goodness. They work. They all work. They all work, Nicole. They all work. One of so and just this is a random topic to discuss, but like I deal with a lot of, like, I've had a lot of surgery on my body and I deal with a lot of pain, and I found that CBD sometimes can really help. And there's a company here in the US called Koi, KOI, and they have some of the best like tasting and quality CBD that I've ever had. So I don't know if you've heard of Koi, but if you're hearing this and you need some help with that, take a look. Koi CBD. They also have the other kind that Nicole likes. Crypto Princess, I'm from Honolulu. Love my gummies and weed. No, I'm no pills. I think that's a lot of us here. Crypto Prince. Great to have you here, Will. We dude, there's this one place, and I know we're getting way off topic, and it's all good here. Like, this is just where the conversation has led us. But there's a store here. Like, I go on Saturdays sometimes when I have some free time. I go to a card game here in Oahu, and on the way to the card game, there's this like random store. Like, there's 4 like random stores. One doesn't even have a sign. It's in this little strip mall that is kind of off the beaten path. But there's this one place that actually has gummies. These gummies are so strong. I've never seen anything like them. They're 600 milligram gummies, 600 milligram gummies, and crazy stuff. I have a friend in Brazil that when I was there, they were talking to me about how hard it is to get quality like CBD and other things in Brazil. And I told them that next time I come, I would bring them some stuff. Yeah, dude. Will, if you're here on Oahu, I could probably like email me. I'll send you the place if you're interested. Yeah, yours are 10 is the maybe the more appropriate level. 10 is the like I can still function the next day. When you start getting into like the hundreds of milligrams, you start to, that's a long process of getting that stuff out of your system. So All right, let's circle back to some crypto stuff here. We are getting a little bit lost in the weeds here, but it's always good to have these conversations. Maybe they help more than they hurt. So I'm down with talking about some of this stuff. I did want to share some updates here. I did share something called Mega ETH in Cryptonaires. This was a pre-sale that just happened. This thing went crazy, man. This thing was oversubscribed 7.5 times. For people that were able to participate, we're going to see once this thing launches how much money, in fact, maybe we're going to be able to make through this. But this was a very, very big pre-sale that wrapped up here. So it'll remain through August 30th. So actually, there's still some time here. If you're interested, sale.megaeth.com. I put a few $1,000 into this. We're going to see what happens here. But this should be pretty interesting. Let's see here. Oh yeah, here's some updates about what's going on here. So investors are waking up to a huge news. China, the trade deal is coming. It sounds like China's Vice Minister of Commerce has announced that the US and China have reached a consensus on key trade issues, which is great. This includes export controls, tariff suspensions, fentanyl-related measures, which is very important to President Trump. This is his whole crackdown on all of the bad things happening with all of this in the United States. I think this is a key important issue to him, which is really appreciated. Anti-drug cooperation here, trade expansion, U.S. Section 301 fees. On top of this, U.S. Treasury Scott Bessent says China is ready to make a trade deal with the U.S. after 2 days of negotiations. That is a very quick 2 days. Like usually trade, like I just want to give you some examples here. Normally trade deals take like 9 months or a year, and they did it in 2 days. So you start to wonder like how extensive is this trade deal, right? If normally trade deals take 6 to 9 months, like hold on, let me see. How long does a normal trade deal take from with the United States and a big economy? Like I remember looking this up months ago, maybe even longer than that, and I thought it was like 6 to 9 months. Let me just double check here. Oh yeah, okay, sorry, I was wrong. A typical trade deal negotiation between the United States and major economies usually take 18 months to 2.5 years to complete. I'm sorry. But hey, they must have had their Gatorade and their Wheaties because they did a full trade deal in 2 days. That is, I don't know. I don't even know how to, like, that's incredible, man. To do something that takes usually years to do it in 2 days, they must have been very thorough on that trade deal. I'm very excited. There shouldn't be any issues with this trade deal, right? I guess we'll see. Bessent added that China wants to make substantial U.S. soybean purchases. Well, let's see if they do. If you're not familiar with what's happening here, because of this whole trade issue happening between the U.S. and China, their previous years, China has bought about $12.5 billion worth of soybeans from the U.S. because of the higher tariff rates. China has been getting soybeans from Argentina and in Brazil, South America, and soybean farmers are going bankrupt right now in the U.S. and they're going to need a big bailout. And so, if this does restart, that'll be very good for the farmers. And then President Trump says he's hoping to complete a deal with China this week. Great to see. This is great for markets. Hopefully, they follow through. James Wynn says rate cuts is priced in. So we're supposed to get probably a rate cut tomorrow, 0.25 basis points. A lot of people do say it's priced in. Here is what you're looking at, ladies and gentlemen. Fed interest rate decision on Wednesday. Obviously, this could be beneficial to the crypto market as money gets cheaper. More people go and borrow more to put into risk assets. You do have a Fed Chair Powell press conference on Wednesday. Microsoft, Alphabet, and Meta earnings are on Wednesday. President Trump and Xi Jinping meet on Thursday. Apple and Amazon earnings on Thursday. So a lot of things happening this week, guys. Let's just keep an eye out on all of these different things. This is obviously a problem. The U.S. spends 23 cents on every dollar on interest expense because We are near the highest level in this century. Luna, come here, sweet pea. This comes as interest expenditures exceed 1.2 trillion. This is going to be a problem. It already is. This is also an issue here. Americans are falling behind on their car payments at alarming rates. Some prime auto loan delinquency is reached 6.43%, the second highest on record ever. The 60-day delinquency rate for subprime auto loans is more than doubled over the last 3 years. This is basically subprime usually means somebody that has had some issues with their credit in the past, but obviously this could be a little bit of both. But this tells you that people don't have enough money to pay their car payment. Now, a lot of this comes from the COVID times. During COVID, there was a lot of free money given out, and a lot of people went and bought new cars, right? Bought things that they needed to help support their life. Some of these car loans are still happening, and some of these payments are a lot. And usually the first thing people stop paying, I guess, is that the first thing? I guess food obviously is more important than a car payment, but not having a car, how are you going to get to your job? This is usually an alarming sign that the economy is getting worse. I just want to give you this information. I do think there is a reckoning coming with the U.S. economy. I've been talking about this since, I don't even know. When did we start talking about this? Like 6 months ago, right? There's a lot of really, like, I know you see the stock market, it's at all-time highs. I think if you take a look at all of the underlying data here, it does start to say that we are heading to some rough days ahead. And then you take a look at this, right? And this is something that you knew was coming, right? You knew this was coming. Now, this should be alarming to people. And I'll go through this and I'll tell you what I think. All right. UPS, this is how many layoffs are about to happen. All right, are happening right now. UPS, 48,000. Amazon, 30,000 employees heading into Christmas. They're laying off 30,000 people. Intel, 24,000. Nestle, 16,000. Accenture, 11,000. Ford, 11,000. Novo Nordisk, 9,000. Microsoft, 7,000. PNC, 5,600. Salesforce, 4,000. Paramount, 2,000. Target, 1,800. Kroger, 1,000. Applied Materials, 1,444, and Meta, 600 employees. These could be some pretty high-paying jobs, okay? Now, part of this is AI, right? And part of this is the economy is not as hot as we are led to believe. Now, you can believe whichever one you want. It's probably a mixture of both things, but usually some of these companies hire into the Christmas holiday, right? Because they need all of this support. We are seeing the complete opposite. So when you're seeing massive layoffs like this, something is going on. We've talked about this at length. I'm not going to keep getting into it, but maybe you should be paying attention to this, okay? Markets don't stay hot forever. Eventually, you're going to have a come to Jesus moment with reality and what you're being told. Look at the data. Don't always listen to what the politician is saying. All right? AI is like, but I've been saying this for quite some time. I've been saying this for a very long time. If you come to these chats and you listen to what I'm saying, AI is going to replace 20% of our workforce. Okay. You have 250 million Americans in the United States, adults, 250 million adults. There's like maybe, I think 80 million kids or something. Okay. If you have 250 million people working, and AI, let's just say AI replaces 10% of the workforce. That is 25 million people without a job. Okay. We just had the lowest unemployment in decades. Now we have some of the highest unemployment. We just had some of the lowest unemployment in decades. Now we have some of the most unemployed that we've seen since COVID. So there's something happening here. You do what you want with the information. But it's only going to get worse. And this is how they push you into digital IDs. This is how they push you into CBDCs. I'd imagine it's a global slowdown. This was already going bad before we decided to do all of this tariff and trade war and all of this stuff. It just made it worse. It is what it is. But if you think your job can be replaced by AI, if you're not spending time learning AI, I don't know what else to tell you. it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. It's going to be scary. And I'll try to bring you all the information I can about it. All right. And I mean, if you take a look around, like I just got my electric bill. For some reason, my electric bill was like 20-something% higher than previous months. I don't know what that's about. I got to go check out. I think that was what my wife was texting me about, that she was shocked how much our electric bill is. But even coffee is up 50% since August. Coffee is up 50% since August. This is because you put a 50% tariff on Brazil, and most of the coffee comes from Brazil. U.S. tariffs on 50% on Brazilian coffee took effect in August. You can see that everything is now more expensive. I don't really know what to tell you with this. 90% of tariffs are paid by U.S. businesses and U.S. consumers. I think you can all realize that now when you go to the store and you see, like, I was walking Luna yesterday, and I have a craving for Baja Blast. I don't know what it is. I grew up on Taco Bell, and Baja Blast is just something that I like to enjoy sometimes, Mountain Dew. And I went to Foodland over here to buy a 20-ounce Baja Blast. The 20-ounce drink was $3.50 at Foodland. That's a lot. That's crazy. That's crazy. $3.50 for a 20-ounce drink. Things are going to get more expensive. Inflation is going to be higher. In my personal opinion, inflation will probably be higher than when you deal with COVID. We're about to print a ton of money. We're lowering rates. We're starting QE. Inflation is already high. You start printing money, it's going to be even higher. I mean, we've seen this movie before. You're very smart people. You know what's about to happen. Plan accordingly. All right. And I know that probably frustrated some people, but that is what's going on. I don't really know how to sugarcoat all of this bad news. I just come out with it. You be the decider of what you think. I know you don't always agree. I get it. Yeah, stay away from XDNA, bro. Sensei, you're correct. I was looking at the XDNA token. I don't know if it's right, but a lot of red flags. Stay away from it. Stay away from it. I know people are sharing it on X. A lot of questionable accounts. I don't think it's legitimate. It's just like, guys, your money is very important. I can tell you that I've lost a lot of money to scams in the crypto market. It's not always easy to identify a scam. Sometimes a company can be legitimate and then turn into a scam. Just be very careful, right? We only get a shot at this, and there scams are everywhere. All right. Yeah, guys, it's okay to disagree, man. Like I don't mean to come off like rude or insulting or whatever, but like, decisions got us to this place. Like, we made a bunch of bad decisions to get us to this place. And now we're here. And now we're dealing with it together. So we can point fingers. We can say it was this person. We can say it was that person. But there's only one person in charge right now. And there's only one party in charge right now in the Congress and the Senate. Republicans have the House, they have the Senate, and they have the presidency. They are in control. So whatever we're dealing with right now is partly because of that. And is partly because of the bad decisions made in the last administration. Both administrations are not making good decisions. It's okay. We can disagree with that, but this is where we are. Okay. So listen, I know it's bad for me to leave it like that. I'm not trying to like throw shade. I'm just saying, like, this is what we're dealing with. I hope we can move forward. I love you all. I want to see you guys on Friday. I appreciate it. I know it was probably a bad way to leave it, but the Dodgers game is probably on right now, and I really want to go watch that. So I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you, Ariana. Thank you for everyone that was here. Yeah, I know, Nicole. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's not fun to talk about, but we're here. All right, guys. I love you all. Peace. Thank you so much for being here.